Charlie and I, we have this beautiful tool for our relationship, and it's helped us navigate some really tough times, and it's helped us create really beautiful times. And as you know, if you're in a relationship or you've been in one, they're not always easy. And falling in love is easy, but learning how to nurture and continue to ignite the passion and connection in a long-term relationship takes a bit more effort. So Charlie, do you want to say what our little magic trick is?
It's called The 5 Love Languages, and this is a little review on the book, but also just a review on our experience. And you can actually do the test yourself, whether you're in a relationship or not. You can find out what type of love, and in this book it presents 5 different types of love, and what type of love speaks to you the most. And if you're in a relationship, you can find out what type of love your partner receives the best. So if you're giving a type of love that you think they should receive, but it's actually really non-existent for them, they don't even like that type, because there's 5 types apparently, and we seem to see that it's quite accurate, then if you're giving that type of love, it's just not being received. But if you're giving what the other person loves to receive in the form of love, then their love tank is filled, and then they'll be able to give love back more. So The 5 Love Languages is a beautiful book. It's extremely popular, actually.
Yeah. Bestseller, New York Times. And
there's also, thanks for that tip, Kelly, she's on it. And there's also a quiz actually online that takes, we actually just did it then because we do it maybe once every 6 months just to check in, because it can slightly change depending on what's going on for you. And we just did it then. It takes less than 5 minutes. And we have our rankings of how we receive love. So Kelly, do you want to firstly share what are the 5 love languages?
Yeah, so the first one, there's really no first or last, but one of them is physical touch. So obviously this is, you feel most love when you receive touch from your lover, hugs, kisses, intimacy. The second one is quality time. Undivided attention, TV's off, phone's down, full attention. Then there's gifts, so receiving gifts. These are little tokens of love, could be flowers, could be date nights, could be all sorts of little gifts and expressions of love. Then there's words of affirmation, so speaks for itself, I love you, I appreciate you, you look really beautiful. And the last one is acts of service. Did I skip one? No, acts of service. Sure. So this is maybe doing the laundry or helping out with work, or, oh, I fixed, I changed the tires in your car, honey, like any kind of act of service. So we have touch, words, quality time, gifts, and acts of service.
So the author Gary suggests that all love is given and received in these areas. And we often give in one way. And if our partner doesn't like to receive in that way, it can cause a lot of disharmony, because I often give naturally what I want to receive most. I'll go and give that to Kelly because I think, well, that's what I want. That's how I feel loved. So I'm just going to give that to her and give her love. But it could be the total opposite. And she's like, that doesn't really, I don't feel loved at all. She wants something totally different. And what she wants could be something that I do not want at all. So it's not even in my awareness to give love in that way. So this just creates a lot of harmony in the relationship if you can really get in the other person's world and consciously choose to give love in that way, and also have the partner see what way do you receive, or do I receive love best. So I think we can just go into a conversation. We've got our computers up because we just did the test and it ranked. So we've got our rankings of where we sit. So we'll just share that. What type of love do I like to receive, and what type of love does Kelly like to receive? And just a little note, I've been sick the last 5 or 6 days, so I've still got a little bit of a fever. So it's late at night. I'm still feeling a little bit under the weather, but we thought this was a great video to make. So please excuse me if I'm...
You're fine.
Cool. So
I'll start us off. My number one that ranked the highest, it had 9 points, is quality time. So Charlie, this is me feeling fully received by you, like we're laughing, we're having fun, we're at the park, we're walking, or we're bonding over some activity together. So my second one is tied. So there are 2 that have the same amount of points, so I'm just going to say them both. Tied for second place is an even mix of physical touch and words of affirmation. And words of affirmation it seems to always be up there on my chart. I love hearing, your genuine compliments. I love hearing I love you. I love hearing inspiration and motivation. And I love touch.
Beautiful. So that's an interesting one because words of affirmation on mine is last. So, and I know that's quite high for you because I know when I say certain things, I can see that you really get impacted deeply. Whereas for me, you could say I love you as many times as you wanted, and it's like, it's not how I receive love at all. Because for me, I feel like anyone can say anything. It's more about the action behind the love. So that's me. So I have to be conscious, because it's not something that comes super strong to me, words of affirmation. It's sort of out of my awareness to then consciously know that that's how Kelly receives love in a big way. And then the top one, I'll just do my top one because it's out in front. 11 points is acts of service. So this is about literally the statement, actions speak louder than words. So that's if Kelly was to just randomly go out of her way and be like, you know what, Charlie, I'm going to cook you something. Or, you know what, Charlie, I will edit this video. Simple things like that bring a lot of relaxation into my body and open me up in a huge way to give so much more love to Kelly. Whereas if I feel like stressed and I'm taking out a lot of the action or the burden, and that could just be mentally, Kelly does heaps of things physically, but if I take that on mentally, then I feel like sometimes I get stuck in the ability to give love. So acts of service is my number one. So you can see how this is interesting, because for Kelly, acts of service is number second last. So I can say that, like, I can be helping Kelly so much, but she actually doesn't fully receive that. She's obviously thankful, but it's like, okay, cool. Like, that's not like you love me. She's looking for other things. Whereas for me, acts of service is like, I deeply love you and I'm going to take some of my time away from my life to give to you in this action or this service. And that fills me up hugely. So it's really, really, really interesting, because then if we didn't do this, I'd just be doing heaps of stuff for Kelly and she'd be like, yo, like, what's up? And Kelly would just be wanting to go on dates with me, and when actually that's like pulling me away from my dedication to my work, and that would actually cause more disharmony. So you see how we could have this sort of split, whereas if we acknowledge each other and give love in the way the person needs to receive it, then I think we can shift a lot. Is there anything you'd like to say, or anything coming up for you, or anything like you'd like to share in an honest, open way?
Yeah, I think it's a thing that couples would come up against as we come up on our own is, it's like, who goes first? So you would feel more comfortable with me if I was giving acts of service, like assisting you in work. You'd then feel more relaxed to give me love. And it's like, who goes first in the relationship? I find that one interesting.
Absolutely. So maybe that's something we dive into together and we report back on in a couple of weeks.
Because it's a big question, the topic of responsibility and being your own lover. Initially, giving yourself your own love language so that you can fully just be with your partner, whatever they're needing. And that takes a lot of responsibility. And that's something we're always working on.
Absolutely. So I think we'll wrap it up there. But the 5 love languages we highly recommend. Have fun with it, and if you've got kids, get their love language. Find out how they love to receive it. If you're saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, and the kid actually just wants quality time, yet you're at work all day, that could cause some disharmony and unbalance. So this can be used in family dynamics, relationships, with yourself, knowing how to give yourself love, many things. So yeah, thanks for tuning in.